I was just listening to this comedian, and it was absolutely funny as hell. And he was talking about how when he was a child, there was this expression like, that they wouldn't throw that food away in Africa, and there's this African reference. We all grew up with it, right? Like, eat your food because in Africa, right? There was this expression, and it was brought up as like, what a racist way to look at the world. And the comedian was funny as all get out, don't get me wrong. But like, he wasn't trying to be deceitful. But I thought about that. My parents said that. My parents were good Southern people, you know what I'm saying? And like, but that's not what they meant at all. They meant there's only like so much stuff in this world. And just because you can afford to waste it, if you're spending your money to waste stuff while there are other people within the community in need, even if they're not right in front of your face, you know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to say that you have to walk out your driveway and help your direct neighbor, but we don't consume and waste stuff because there are people in the world in need. It doesn't matter if we can afford it. And Africa was the example they put on TV back then. That was our reference to people that were hurting. I think we were all in that outpour back in the day in America. Remember that? They put a lot of places in Africa. Ethiopia, I think, became the trademark of that, and asked for money for it. And I know it raised a lot of money for a while. People got, I don't know what even happened to those movements or what the end result was. But anyways, I don't think that I think that we got to relook at how we're deeming people as racist. This MAGA stuff's driving me nuts, that MAGA supporters are racist. Or like, I think of that argument I've heard more than once, that like, make America great again means like turn it back into a time when whites were supreme, or turn it back into a time where there was some other level of oppression against women or something like that. But like, all this time, all these millions of MAGA supporters, I've never heard a MAGA supporter say that. I've heard CNN say it. I've heard people who think MAGA supporters are like these horrible people. I've heard them say it. The expression MAGA simply says, make America great again, right? Make us great again. There was a time in America where we were moving towards progress. Like, I would say a great time was much of the civil rights movement. It doesn't mean everyone was safe, but it meant we were doing something together, and the people got to choose which side they were on. There were many whites that walked with the blacks, right? Like, we now knew who was who, didn't we? There was a reality there, and it brought America together in really great ways, Make America great again. Like Frederick Douglass, like, he rose to prominence with everything against him. There's no doubt he had everything against him, but through pure belief in, call it the American dream, that you can be anyone, but if you think about it right, you do it right, you got a chance. And if the cards play in your favor, all of a sudden look where you are, and look at the voice you have throughout history. Does that mean that during the time of Frederick Lewis is the time we want to return to? No. That's not make America great again. Make America great again is saying that Frederick Douglass was the man. Look at him. Look at what he did. Look at what he did for America. Right? And now, where are the people doing that today? Who are they? Where do I find my Martin Luther Kings? Where do I find, God, Alicia, there's a million names. I can't remember them all. Bad like that. I just want inspiration out there that's bringing us back together. Right? And in fact, our president just said that. The Joe Biden, that's the non-MAGA supporter, right? Like, MAGA is the national security threat. This is how stupid they think you are as the American people. Joe Biden gave a speech at Independence Hall in Pennsylvania, where the signing of the Declaration of Independence occurred, correct? Now, he said in that declaration was the we the people. I don't think he was trying to say that was the greatest time in history for every single individual, but there was something happening that we all recognized was different and better. He called that a time of greatness. I would agree with him. Not because black people were free, right? But because it was charting the course towards it. And maybe other places in the world caught up faster than us. I don't know. But right now in America, I think there are worse places to be almost no matter who you are. But the president goes on to say that we've lost our way because we've become divided. Because the country is divided, we don't stand as we the people. But then, of course, he went on to label the insurrectionists, the people that are dividing, or not dividing the country. He's labeling the people that are on one side of the divide. And he labels those people as a national security threat and calls them out as extreme MAGA supporters. Well, Mr. President, I got words for you. MAGA is an acronym. Make America Great Again. And the way you define it does not necessarily mean that's how I have to define it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you and I have very different opinions about race. We have very different opinions about abortion, for that matter. That's fine, right? But as soon as you decide that I'm your national security threat because I believe there's an acronym that stands true, I think you need a better definition. I would like a full definition of what it means. What is the national security threat in America, Mr. President? I want to know. Like, remember where this video started? Every single conversation I have right now leads back to that because of that speech. It's hard to have a conversation without addressing it. It's the elephant in the room. So anyone who's having a conversation without addressing it is avoiding the elephant in the room. And we know that that is ultimately a detrimental strategy. You have to address the elephant in the room.